ones. Let me get my plugs in. Hey, there we go. Hang on. How's everybody tonight? All good? My name is Chris Quinlan, Melbourne Musos, Facechook live. Let me get, where's my other little things? I've got to put these in. Oh, dear me. Anyway, tonight, thank you for coming in and coming to the Alex Theatre online. And I'm absolutely adoring these sessions. And what it is, we have Tim Barnett behind the camera there. Hey! We got Simon Barnett around the corner there. We got Alan, the GM, and Susie Cupido, there you are, and all that, who started all this up with good old Alex Rocks. So we're off! Why, Chris, are you playing a waltz? 1, 2, 3, because last week I did the history of rock and roll, right? In 30 minutes or less. Okay, I think I got there in about 33. Now, tonight, I am doing the wedding reception from hell. Okay, so what happens is that it's the one reliable paying gig. But, what you had to play to get there. Hello, ladies. How's the night going for you? So what I'm going to do tonight is the survival method for doing a wedding reception, okay, and all that, and and the right attitude to bring, like a cheesed-off jazz guitarist, like that, or whatever it might be, sort of thing, and and every story I'm telling you is true. There we go. So I'm starting off with a waltz, right? Last week was rock and roll. And what happens? I was doing a little workers' club gig about 3 decades ago with Crash Craddock. And they got me in as a ringer, right? And what happened? We were doing this contract work for a mob called Parents Without Partners. And what would happen is that, they would go off to a dance class, and do all these wonderful dances and stuff. And one of the first things that I learnt on the job, right? I'd been playing jazz for a long time by then, right? You can't dance to that. So you straighten it up. And that was the night where I learnt the nuances of the waltz, because all these lovely people were going off and doing their little dance classes together. And what happened was I was playing a jazz waltz when I should have been playing a Palmer waltz, and said, we can't dance to that, it's all you got the beats in the wrong place. Chris, you're going to have to stop being so jazzy. All that. It was a wonderful gig, really, and all that. So God bless their little socks. Anyway, so cut down, Tim. Cut down now. Come on, partner. So what happens? Here's a couple of waltzes for you. Next time you get a paying gig, which happens to be a wedding reception, right? Here's the standard waltz. Now, one of the things that you want to get straight away is your foot patterns, okay? And what happens is there's a few. And the first one really is a good old 2-feel. This one's for you, Nick Cushion. More country. You wanted more country, Nick. Okay, so that's what you've got there, nice little pulsing 2-feel is what it's called. The double bass would be going boom, 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 and all that. Then you have the good old 4-feel. Right, both, right, both, right, both, right, both. And then when you're doing the air, oh yeah, Latin bass drum. How's the sherry going for you, girl? Yeah, no worries. Oh, too much. Sorry. Too much saccharin there. And what it is that's a Latin bass drum. You get 1, 2, and 3. Some people know it as a samba bass drum. I'll get into that a little bit later, if you like. But we're talking about the waltz. And then the next little ostinato pattern you need is right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. John Bonham's tambourine is optional. If you do it light, it doesn't set it off. But when you want to build it up, there you go. You know, sort of thing. Nuance, 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 you know. Anyway, so what you've got is a standard waltz. You go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Keep it straight. 2, 3, 1, 2. That'll fit anything. That's one size fits all. To quote Frank Zappa, 1975. She was the daughter of Florentine Hogan. Sorry. Only Zappa fans will get that. And what it is there's the standard waltz. One size fits all. But then you go into what's known as a Palmer waltz. Brought together by Mrs. Palmer and her husband Harry. Sorry, Tim. You know, they used the 5-fingered reverse clutch method when they were dancing, you know, and would beat it against their head. That's Cheech and Chong, 1972. Sorry, I'm throwing myself off there. Sorry. And the best song, if you want to practice a waltz, a Palmer waltz, itchy, what you've got is 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, bum, ba, ba, bum. Chim, chimney, chim, chimney, chim, chim, chiroo, rum, ba, 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 da, 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 ba, da, 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 bum. Bum, ba, 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 da, 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 ba, da, da, bum. Ba, ba, da, ba, bum, rum, ba, da, bum. Now, the Palmer waltz, being serious for a second, is that the dance, you have a dance for all these things. And the lady would put her hand in the gentleman's palm, and the lady would get spun around, you see. And then I'd be there going, hey, have a look at them all going around in circles like that. Oh, there you go. There it is there. And that's a Palmer waltz, okay, you know, sort of thing. Palmer in a pot, $10, mate. And what goes on, then you have the modern waltz. Boom, bap, bap. Now, raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of Tim's favourite things. Up, 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 up. And then what happens is a great one to do with that, or the great song to play along with that with my favourite things, right? Sound of Music and all that sort of stuff. And what happens with that is that it's based on shuffle, really, like 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3. Now that's very different from the Palmer, because you get 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yep. Don't mix them up like I did. Big trouble in Little Chinatown. So what happens? You can call me Snake. You're going to kill me today, Snake? Not today. I'm too tired. Escape from Wedding Reception, New York. There you go. That was pretty dumb. Anyway, so that's a Palmer waltz. And then you've got a modern waltz. 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3 to 1. Now, one of the wonderful versions of my favourite things, apart from the film, is Diana Ross and the Supremes' Christmas album. And what they do is they do the perfect jazz waltz version of my favourite things. Now, this actual rhythm, and all these rhythms, the waltz rhythms, are at the end of my grade 1 drum set manual. And they're deceptively tricky because everyone's used to jailbreak. But we are talking about wedding receptions. And so what happens is that your jazz waltz is when the dog bites, when the bee sings, when I'm feeling sad. Simply remember my favorite things. Now, what that is right, left, both, right, left, both. I'll do that very slowly, right? Right, left, both. Write it down. Right. Get those pens and papers out, kid. Okay, right, left. I'm putting myself off like crazy tonight. Sorry about that. Right, left, both. Right, left, both. Pick it up a bit. At aforementioned Waltz ostinato. And off we go. Now, one of the things about my favourite things is that I come from the world of doing that with doing the John Coltrane version, okay? And, you know... This is guaranteed to get you the sack within 5 minutes of the local wedding reception. You might get a better response from the local jazz club, but you don't usually get paid. Maybe. Then, one of the things that I did, I used to do back in the day, I was a young whippersnapper just starting out, and I got a wonderful early chance to play with none other than, you know, local legend Bob Settergreen, with dear R.I.P. Gary Costello in a restaurant, and all that sort of stuff. And then we went off and did knocking around in that scene a little bit, and we went off and did little festivals and little sideways things and jam days and all sorts of different stuff. And I sort of had this thing where I was really getting into different sorts of timing things. And I'd sort of I'd play a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And I was dead set into Jack DeJohnette in the days. I even bought a drum kit because I just want his drum kit, you know, that kind of thing. That's what I wanted. And what would happen is that I sort of really gleaned a few things from him in the sense that you could almost play like a 4, 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But because I rabbit on about polymetrics and all that sort of stuff, so boom. Now, you get the sack, as I said before, with the wedding reception, but that was a real, you know, like, could you tell that with the hi-hat I was implying 2/4 really, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Pan it out to 1 to 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. There you go. So that's what it is. So that's a jazz waltz. Now earlier in the year, with our dear Neil Peart passing away from Russia and all that sort of stuff, I pulled apart his famous solo, Der Trommler, which means the drummer, okay? And his middle section was exactly that, okay? The waltz ostinato while he was going wonderfully sick over the top of that and all that. So I did that earlier in the year, of course. So there's your waltzes, okay? You've got 4, the standard, the Palmer, the modern, and then the jazz. You see, you've got 4 types, you see. So there's something you need to know if you're going to go off, and when this shitty time is over, I'm hoping that the reset button is pressed in the sense that people, you know, get paid for their work and all that sort of stuff. And one of the things about wedding receptions is a lot of fun, I mean, I'm talking about wedding receptions from hell and all that sort of stuff. But the thing about it, it's a wonderful night if you think about it the right way. Sort of thing. So it's wonderful. And some of the things and some of the shenanigans that, sort of happen. And some of the things you just need to know is, you get past the, oh, hokey, hokey, pokey. Oh, hokey, pokey, pokey. Put your right sock in, right it down. Put your sock in and shake it all about. I was doing this last week as a jump rhythm. Oh, hokey, hokey, pokey. That's what it was. Oh, Tim, help. And what goes on is once you get through all that stuff, of course the little kiddies are going to come up and... Now, I've got a story to tell about the good old chicken dance, okay? I was in a band with the aforementioned Crash Craddock, and we had some great times. Dear Laurie Bell on guitar. Who out there knows Dear Laurie, okay? Laurie Bell, we got on like a house on fire. He was great. He'd love, like, you'd be in the middle, right? You'd be doing the main course. Would you like the beef or the chicken, Dale? I might go the chicken tonight. And you're in the middle, and you're doing the most beautiful, lush ballads with the brushes, Well, everyone, and you're hearing, you're hearing nothing but, chomp, chomp, chomp on the old schnitz. And you're going, Laurie, that's some great, what chord's that? That's a root 5, Chris. Whoa, and you'd be doing this beautiful, lush ballad stuff, and it was just gorgeous jazz stuff, sort of thing, the old background music and all that. You'd have your singer doing different things. All of me, baby, take all of me. Can't you see I'm unmasked without you? What are you doing with the rest of my wife? Oldie but goodie. And what happens is Ross, the bass player. Hello, Ross, if you're watching. Haven't seen you in many a year. But what would happen? I turned up, and this was I can actually say what it was, at St. Albans Reception Centre, 1991. And it was sort of it wasn't so much a reception as a little bit of a school night, Deb Ball kind of deal. But things started to get a bit messy. I think some of the young lads were having a little out the back, someone snuck in a little flask for the year 11s. I'm not sure, things started to get... Anyway, Ross said, what's this contraption you got down on the floor, Chris? And I said, it's a new double pedal. I just got it from my mate Paul Mosum. Hello, mate, I'll never forget you, okay? And all that. Paul Mosum from Tom Tom Trading. Basically, there's a plug. Anyway, the first DW5000 accelerator pedal came out, and I go, I want one, and all that. So I turned up and said, well, how the bloody hell, what are you going to do with that? Of course, we're talking about, people are more used to 2 bass drums, if you're going to, but, turning up to two bass drums to St. Albans Reception Centre. I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway, unless you're doing Van Halen, it's a Van Halen wedding. Anyway, but what happens, hot for teacher, but what goes on is he said, how does that work? And I said, well, do you want me to show you? And he said, sure, let's go for it. So I said, I'll leave it for the chicken dance, right? So I was like, the bit with the chicken dance, you can speed it up at the end and all the little kids go flying around the front, right? It's fantastic if you get it right. So you got... with a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that. Here we go, Ross. Oh, everyone loved it. went down a treat. Oh, I got a little extra slice of schnitz for that, a little bit of extra schnitzel, sort of thing. It's terrific, sort of thing. So what happens is when you're in the wedding reception from hell, you're going to get asked all the different tunes. Do you know this one? Do you know Jesse's Girl? Do you know this one? Do you know that one? And all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of stuff. And what would happen, like last week, after the beautiful, full, lush jazz doing the waltz and all that sort of stuff. I don't need to play it again, but the beautiful whatever, all the sort of brush work and the threes and all that lovely stuff. Okay, we've got to rock and roll. Everyone's up, everyone's had a few sherbets, we're ready to rock and all that. And dear Laurie, God bless his little socks, he'd sort of just go, all right, we've got to deal with this bloody rock and roll. He's a jazz purist, right? Jazz purist. And God bless him, he was a fantastic guitarist. We had so much fun, okay? I'm saying it's nothing but love in my heart for this man. And he used to work on all my guitars, probably some of you guys as well, and all that sort of stuff. He used to play with Helen Shapiro. Tim, do you remember Helen Shapiro? Tim, you're breaking my heart back there. Still a tough crowd. I think he'd warm up a bit. Anyway, so what's going on? Even though I dedicated a song to him tonight. Anyway, there you go. Still can't make him happy. All right. Anyway, what's going on? Moving right along. Okay, inner dialogue happening there. Sorry about that. But what goes on is that dear Laurie, he put his earplugs in, right? And we go, okay, we're doing Johnny Be Good. Okay. And I'm going, what happened to the guitar? And it's got, like, he's got it, beautiful, big, full, homemade Telecaster shape. He built his own guitars. The most gorgeous thing. It wasn't a guitar, it was art. It was art. And it had every sound he wanted. And he put it, and when it came time to do the rock and roll, we're down in Louisiana, across the New Orleans. He hated distortion so much, he had his distortion pedal down lower than the chorus pedal. Turn up, Laurie. What's going on, mate? Can you tell the guitarist to turn up a bit? Oh, off we went. Bradley rock from last week. You've got to get them up dancing, right? But I moved forward a little bit because I was going to do some cheesy, beautiful Latin things for you. Now, the thing about Latin, okay, is that I tend to see Latin rhythms horizontal, okay? When you're doing any kind of rock beat, you've got your hi-hat. When you're teaching someone who's in their first few months and stuff, you say, okay, you've got your hi-hat, you've got your cymbal, really. And then you're counting either, it could be crotchets, 1, 2, 3, 4, when you're teaching them how to read. And what happens is that as you see the notes underneath the cymbal note, you play what it means. So it could be bass drum, snare drum, both, whatever, so away you go. With Latin, I see it as I try and teach it like a bit of a different thing, in the sense that I treat it like this, because one of the things about Latin is that you're either going to use a 2-feel or a Latin bass drum underneath. I mean, we'll get into all the fiddly ones later on. This is the wedding reception from hell, okay? So we're starting out. So you go, and what I say is, whatever you do with your left hand, that's going to be the beat, right? So if I'm going to do a 3-2 clave, sort of thing, bossa nova, bump. Stan Getz and all that sort of business, Antonio Carlos Jobim and all that stuff. And what happens with that is that the Latin beats, I mean, when you're doing rock and roll, everyone's going like that, and you're doing a twist, or you're doing this, or doing that one. But the thing that I learned very early on is that most of your Latin beats have an accompanying dance. So your left hand wants to pretty much be fairly straight in these kinds of straight kind of gigs, because you're going to go off with the aforementioned parents without partners, etc., etc. They're busy learning the dance steps. So wherever you put your rim click, there's a dance step to it usually. So if you're going to go, you know, that kind of thing, what's going to happen is that you're going to see steps going and all that sort of stuff, okay? So that's what goes on. One of the things we used to do, of course, was mambo, okay, Viva Las Vegas, and all this sort of business. The king, that used to go off. Everyone used to jump around to that. And the funny thing about the mambo and so on, is that the most famous mambo is also one of the damned fastest. Okay, Viva Las Vegas is quick. So, you'd slow it down a bit for, say, Rosemary Clooney. Oh, she was a lovely, beautiful woman in the days of the 50s and 60s. Mambo Italiano. Do you remember that one, Tim? He knows that one. Thank God for that. Calabrese, yeah, that's fantastic in the days, it's sort of thing. These days, you're wearing a mask all the time, sort of thing, and all that, but, a beautiful thing like that. And what I'm getting at with the mask is there's a few people out there, I'm just jumping on, I just want to get this joke in. I mean, there's a few people out there that doesn't believe in all this what's going on, and especially with my Greek mates, Con and Spiro, right? And their whole Stacey brothers, Con and Spiro Stacey. I got that from Sushi Mango. But anyway, Mambo Italiano. And then what happens with that, I'm going to play this one for you. You get right, both, right, left, right, both right, both left. Did you get it? Right, both, right, left, right, both right, both left. And so on it goes. I usually do that with a 2 feel, but if you can also do it with the Latin bass drum, but the thing is it can get a bit busy, okay, so you just got to watch out for the busy, okay, sort of thing. So usually keep it straight if you're going to pump it up a little bit there. Just keep it, okay, and all that sort of stuff. And there you have a mambo. That goes down a treat. So I'm going to start to wrap the show up, I suppose. Oh, I've got a couple of minutes left. Oh, they're the glory days. And what goes on is now's my time to wrap the show up. And I'm having a ball here at the Alex Theatre and everyone inside it. I'd like to thank my right-hand man over here, who's the foil of my lame jokes, is Tim Barnett, everyone. Take a bow. And then his brother Simon is around the corner and all that. The general manager here is Allan Rendelll, and the facilitator for everything that's happening here is dear Susie Cupido. Hello, Susie, if you're watching. And there you have it. But none of this would be possible without our patron saint, Alec himself, Alex the man, Mr. Vass. And thank you, sir, for putting up with us and having us in. It's wonderful. And I got some wonderful news today. I had to stop the car and take a second, and I want to thank Adam Sanfilippo for doing it. But I just want to thank everyone. I say it every week, but this week's a bit special because we're about to lose community TV, and because of you out there, I say this every week, in the sense that you saved it. Whatever you did, you saved it. Thank you. And all that. And I just want to thank you for watching the show, Melbourne Musos, and this Facechook Live. This is going to be on Channel 31 next Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and lame jokes included. And what it is thank you for watching. We got the ratings today, and after talking fishing, you were all watching this. It's number 2. So I had to take a moment. I thought, you're watching me? It's just me in a drum set. And Tim up there wanting to hit me with things. Thank you. Just thank you for small mercies. I'm here another, if this is my last one, thank you. If it's the first of many more, thank you. And I never take any of that for granted. So I'll sign off. My name's Chris Quinlan. It's Melbourne Musos, Facechook Live. Last week I did the history of rock and roll. This week is the wedding reception from hell. Okay, so there's all your cheesy beats. Okay, you get paid doing these. Hey, so, don't look a gift horse in the mouth and all that stuff. And you can have great fun. It just depends on the attitude and all that. It's wonderful. Anyway, I'm out of here. My name's Chris Quinlan, as I said, Melbourne Musos, all these beautiful people, and this beautiful place, this beautiful foyer, Alex Theatre. It's incredible. Thank you for having me, and I shall see you next week. Hey!